Hello, Jasmine.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Very well, thank you very much. It's a beautiful day, and I have a beautiful view behind me here, so I'm happy and I'm good.
What time is it for you?
For me, it is 10:15 in the morning.
Wow, we have like less than an hour
Yeah, an hour difference,
difference.
I think. Yeah, but in Canada, it's I think 6 hours behind in Toronto, and then in Vancouver, it's like 8 hours behind. So everyone is still sleeping.
Yeah,
Mm.
while we are having a conversation. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so impossible, for me to, when I need to contact my family or talk to them on the phone, it's like impossible because when I'm asleep, they're awake. And,
All
when
right.
I'm awake, they're asleep.
The vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big mess.
So I
Actually.
have I have I have a list of vocabulary related with the kitchen.
Yeah, of
Okay.
course. Let's go through it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to discuss with you this vocabulary,
Hmm.
and sometimes like the native English speakers, they use like different
Yeah.
words.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So the first word is
Mhm.
the first word. What is that? Food
No,
love.
it's just I realized that there was how can I say, like a conversation material about food. So maybe when we're done with vocabulary, we can see if there's also maybe some vocabulary that could be useful in this
Uh
one.
huh.
But we'll look after.
Yeah. No, no, don't worry. I did my research very good.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So the first word is blender.
Blender, yeah, blender, absolutely. Frullatore. Blender is the one that, yeah, you know what it is, right? You can
Yeah,
make
yeah,
smoothies
blender.
and things with a blender.
Okay, can we say like mixer?
Mixer, actually, we have something else which is called a mixer. We call it a mixer, and it's a little bit different because what it does is like when you're making a cake, you're baking a cake, there's like
Okay.
a bowl, and then there's like this thing has an arm and it just mixes the
That thing
ingredients.
called mixer.
We call that a mixer, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
a difference between a blender and a mixer. And then we also have something called a food processor, which is like a
Mm.
really strong blender, which you can use not just for like liquids, but you can use it for like to make peanut butter, for example. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
you know what
different
peanut
type
butter?
of
Yeah.
peanut butter.
So
Mm.
we use a
I
food
I have heard
processor for
about
that.
this. I
Food
have heard
processor.
about this
Yeah.
peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter. It's very popular in America and Canada.
So the second word is colander.
A colander, yeah, a colander would be it's the one for the
We use it with
scrollatore
pasta,
with
with the
the pasta.
spaghetti.
Yeah, exactly, to strain the pasta. So a colander, or I used to call it a strainer. I used to call it a strainer because we use it to strain the pasta, which means like
Uh-huh. So
separate the
what?
water. It's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Colander is correct, but you will hear native speakers say also strainer, like the pasta
Sit,
strainer.
sit. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Citrainer. Okay. Let me type it. Citrainer. Okay.
Like I'll write it.
Uh,
Hold on, let me just write it for you in the word so you know how to
could
spell
you
it.
please close this listen to get a better
Yeah, yeah,
picture
better
because
view.
you yeah
Let's see, hide the lesson. Yes, okay.
now
Yeah,
you are
pasta
close to me.
strainer. Yes, pasta strainer. I wrote in the chat, so you have that as well. Strainer.
Pasta citrainer. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Citrainer.
Strainer. Yeah.
Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I did my research. Okay.
Yeah.
So I figured out that we can citrate off the water from the food.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
Absolutely.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I have heard about this word, like
Yeah.
citrain.
Yeah. Yeah. So we use it's probably traditionally called a colander, but we would just say strainer because it strains the water, right? So like when I was cooking, with my mom growing up in Canada, she would say like, "Oh, pass me the strainer." We would just say this.
Uh-huh. So it's not like colander. Colander, it's like not common word.
You know what? Here's the thing is also in it changes so much. So like I'm from Canada. In
Yeah.
Britain, probably they say colander. I can imagine them saying using this word colander. So it changes a little bit. In South Africa, in Australia, in England, in America, in Canada, we all sometimes have our specific ways of saying things. So like
Yeah.
You know, like I had a friend when I was living in Milan. I had a group of friends, and two of them were from England. One was from Ireland. One was from Scotland, and I was I'm from Canada. And I remember us sort of making fun of each other because we had really different ways of saying things sometimes. Like if I said awesome, like that's awesome, my friend would say like lush, that's so lush. and I was like, yeah, that's like ridiculous, you know? And we would just make fun of each other. So probably in other parts they use colander. I imagine I imagine in Britain they use colander for sure. They're so proper.
Maybe in America or in Canada they call it like strainer.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So another word like chopping board or
chopping board or cutting board.
Cutting board.
Exactly.
I used to hear chop, like the verb chop or chopping. Okay.
Yeah.
From the Americans. I think this is the right way to say chopping board.
Chopping board, yeah, because you chop things up. I personally call it a cutting board. So again, there's even differences from America to Canada, right? So in America, probably they say chopping board, and maybe even in Canada as well. Personally, I grew up saying cutting board because that's what my mom said. So cutting board, but also chopping board. They're both correct. Chopping or cutting, it's the same thing. If you chop something, you're cutting it. I'm chopping wood, I'm cutting wood. It's the same.
It's the same, yeah. But maybe the like chop, it's more like more slang than cutting.
No, I mean they're both the same. They're synonyms. You can use them interchangeably. Chopping something or cutting something. Maybe chopping, I would say, like is cutting something but with more energy. If I'm chopping something, I'm like I'm chopping, you know, or like chopping wood. I'm doing it. If I'm cutting something, I could cut something also very like subtly. Like I could be cutting a steak or something, and I'm not chopping it. I'm just cutting it, you know. So they're quite similar, but chopping, cutting, it's both
here is the sentence. I'm gonna make a sentence. Like I'm chopping the cucumber. Is that right? I'm chopping out the cucumber.
Okay, so I'm cutting up. I would say I'm cutting up, chopping up a cucumber. Yes, I mean you could also say that, but I guess how I grew up, I would say cutting. I'm cutting the cucumber.
Tell me how to use it.
Chopping, yeah. So like I'm Canadian again, like I've said this a million times, but when we use chopping is for wood. I'm chopping wood. So when you cut wood for the fireplace, this is how they use chopping down trees or chopping wood usually. But again, it can be also used in the kitchen, like chopping onions. Okay, so chopping onions up into really like fine pieces. You know, in the kitchen, you see them cutting really fast. This would be like chopping. So I'm chopping onions. Cucumbers, for whatever reason, I would say cutting. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My question is about like chopping out or chopping up.
Chopping up. Chopping up.
Chopping up.
Chopping up. Yeah.
I'm chopping up. I'm chopping up the cucumber.
Exactly. Chopping up. Exactly. Chopping up.
So another word. Another word. I'm gonna use. Okay. There's a teapot and pot.
A teapot.
And pot. So
hand pot. Okay. So a teapot or a hand pot.
The pot. What I understood that tool that people like cook their foods.
A pot
into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a pot, a regular pot. You boil water, you cook stews, a pot.
Pot. And teapot for making the tea.
Exactly. And it's a little bit different, the teapot, right? You can usually pour it out after, right?
I like this word. Yeah, pour.
Yeah.
The accent.
Pour it out.
Yeah. So when you want to pour the stew, right? Pour the stew.
If you want to pour, like stew, it depends. If it's soup, you can maybe pour it, but stew, because usually stew has like pieces of meat, pieces of potatoes, you usually scoop out the stew. But if it's tea, you pour a cup of tea. Can you
And
pour me a cup of tea? So
a
pouring
cup of tea.
is this
Okay.
action here where you're like pouring something out, right? If I have a cup of
Yeah.
water and I pour it out, I'm doing this action, right? A
Oh,
cup of
okay.
water and I pour it out. Okay.
But what if it
Stew-
has like
Yeah,
the stew
Yeah.
has like pieces of vegetables?
Usually for like something that's thicker like that, we scoop it with like a ladle. Like
Can you write it down?
Yeah. Scoop. So
Hey.
scoop. Like you imagine like ice cream scoop. We scoop it out and then we put it on the plate, right? With a ladle, I think.
A scoop. What ladle? Thank you. Yeah,
Exactly.
ladle.
A ladle spoon like this. Here you can.
Yeah.
If you look it up on Google, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Ladle spoon. So we scoop it out with like a ladle spoon. Something
Yeah, I know.
that's
It's like
heavier.
a big spoon.
Yeah, big spoon. Because if you imagine pouring stew, it's like gonna go everywhere and it's a big mess, you know. So something that's more
Sometimes-
liquid, like water or soup, you can pour. Other things we scoop.
Yeah, but to be honest, sometimes if the stew it's very delicious, I
Just
eat
pour it
from-
from the pot. From the pot.
I take the sip from the pot. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I won't tell anyone.
So vegetable peeler.
Vegetable peeler. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we can be okay. Yeah, potato or maybe the cucumber. You know,
Yeah,
sometimes we
it peels the skin basically, right? It peels the skin off of peels.
double E L as peel. Verb.
Yeah, peels. So we peel the potato, right? Peel the potatoes is to get rid of the skin. You're peeling the potato, right?
That's the verb. Yeah, peel. A peeler. Exactly. The name of.
Sometimes we just. I don't know why it gave me a U, but peeler. We use this as well, just a peeler.
Yeah, peeler.
Exactly.
And the peel. P-double-E.
Or sometimes we say potato peeler. I think I used to call it a potato peeler, but I think that was
peeler, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's technically correct. Maybe when I was just a kid, I called it that, and my mom never like corrected me. She was like, "That's cute, you know, potato peeler." But
potato peeler.
It's a peeler.
Yeah, it's a peeler. Yeah. I did my research actually, and we can use it like a potato peeler.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, good. Yeah.
The last word, since we are out of time. Squeeze.
Squeeze. So like lemons. When we take lemons, we squeeze out the juice, right? We squeeze.
Squeeze, yeah. Squeeze the lemon.
Squeeze the lemon, yeah. To get the lemon juice, we must squeeze the lemon, right?
And squeeze like every vegetable, including.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Or like a ketchup bottle. Imagine you want to get the ketchup out of the bottle, you squeeze the bottle.
Squeeze.
Also, squeeze. Anytime you're doing this action, squeeze.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It was a pleasure to see you again. Have a great day, okay?
Thank you.
I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. You too.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to eat.
Yeah.